Welcome back, episode 6 of the new season of the Who Scored Again podcast. I'm Abin. We don't have a full house yet, but we've got the next best thing. We've got Sid back in the building, taking some time from his nightly baby duties. Dodds is back, taking his time from his nightly duties.
It sounds wrong when you put it on Dodds.
Yeah.
It's fair enough. Yeah, car crashes have been for beginning. Basically, guys have been busy, but we're all here. Akshay's traveling, so he's not on this week's episode. And we're here to just recap the Premier League's recent round of fixtures, the Gameweek 6 fixtures, of Gameweek 5, I think, Gameweek 5 fixtures, and what a weekend it was. Arsenal took on City, United went to Palace and made some fuckery there. There were a bunch of goals flying in and out of the league. A lot of fun stuff to talk about this week. Let's start the show. So as we were setting up to record, Sid just told me that there's some breaking news from Man City. Please do us the honors.
Oh yeah, Rodri is out for the season. I at least in my eyes, this year's Ballon d'Or winner, at least in my eyes, he should be the Ballon d'Or winner. He's out for the season, and I think this is probably, if the door was shut, now the door is a little ajar for the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, and maybe even Chelsea to maybe take it all the way to May. Who knows?
For some reason, I always assumed that it was, he was going to be able to knock it off. I thought people were just messing around with the whole ACL news, but this is, if there ever was a crucial injury to happen to City, this is probably as crucial as it gets. My mind goes back to the Laporte injury a couple of years ago when Liverpool ran away with the title. Laporte got injured, I think, in the first 2 to 3 game weeks of the season, right? And as a result, Liverpool just kicked on and off they went. But that this is now thrown a proper spanner in the works of City's title challenge. I mean, they've won 4 in a row. Even if they missed one, I don't think it's a big issue for them. But I'm very curious to see how things progress. And it all began at the Arsenal City game. Now, this to me was probably a throwback to the early 2000s Barclays Premier League football era, right? It had everything. It had people kicking the shit out of each other. It had mad goals. It had scraps. It had last minute drama. I was thoroughly
really shit refereeing.
And really shit.
Don't forget.
Yeah. Don't forget the shit refereeing.
Yeah.
Hey, no. I have the refereeing was horrible throughout. I don't think the ref particularly favored a particular team. I think there were decisions that both sides could be particularly aggrieved about. But to recap the game in a few quick short sentences, Arsenal City kicked off immediately. Havertz pulverized Rodri, kind of setting the tone for what kind of game this was going to be. 4 seconds in. And then after, I think in about the 7th or the 8th minute, Haaland breaks through on goal. Beautiful finish. Arsenal City are leading 1-0. And then Calafiori hits a banger after a contentious situation that develops because things were getting out of hand. Michael Oliver calls both captains to have a conversation with them, doesn't allow Kyle Walker to get back into position. Martinelli gets the better of him, passes it back. Calafiori bangs one in. What a fucking finish. And then Arsenal do what Arsenal have been doing all season and for all of last season. So they score from a set piece. City get a warning sign prior to Arsenal scoring. The exact same move happens, but I forget which Arsenal player is on Gabriel, who just about manages to put them off. The second time it happens, Kyle Walker lets Gabriel go. Free header. Edison is pinned to his goal line. I don't know how long the league is going to let Arsenal get away with pinning goalkeepers in their position without calling it a foul. But Arsenal lead. And then the most contentious decision that is being discussed across footballing circles today happens. In the 52nd minute, Trossard goes up for a challenge with Bernardo Silva, and He fouls him and then kicks the ball away within a second of the referee blowing his whistle. The referee sends him off. Now, I have my opinion on it, but I kind of want to get your opinion on it as to what's your take on it?
I mean, I don't want to keep slurring all the. I mean, but it was really a really shit decision. Like, I don't know, maybe it was last week or 2 weeks back. I don't know which game it was, but Soboslai did the same thing. I think it was last week, where he kicked the ball after the ref blew the whistle, and he didn't get a yellow card. Like, the only thing I'm asking from referees is consistency. If you're going to send them off, send everybody off. Like, it shouldn't be 1 week you're sending somebody off and the next week you're not. I know Rice got a red card or the second yellow for the same thing. If you're going to make this a rule, keep it consistent across the board for all teams, whether it's United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal. I don't care who it is. Just keep it consistent. I'm not saying he didn't deserve the yellow card. I'm just saying if you're going to yellow card for that incident, it has to be across the board. It can't be you can pick and choose when you want to do it. That's my only beef with it.
Yeah, I also agree. I think it's just stupidly inconsistent refereeing. It's not that he didn't commit the foul that would warrant it, but they're just not being consistent about it across all the matches. And I felt like I'm almost calling peak like this. Like the first half was like one of the best games I had watched in a while. And to change the whole dynamic of that game for some stupid minor thing was just really sad. Like, it was really sad. I was just hoping that they didn't do it.
I genuinely believe this was a blockbuster of a game until he sent off Trossard. It was like watching it as a neutral and watching like two teams that obviously personally I wouldn't want them to win the league, but like just watching the level of football that they're playing and then watching Crystal Palace versus United just the previous night, like I was wide awake for the Crystal Palace United game, but they were putting me to sleep. And yesterday I was dead sleepy, but watching the first half was like, whoa, they're like miles ahead.
It reminds me of that 18-19 Liverpool City
exactly
game.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching the game. 11v11 game in the second half would have been explosive. I genuinely feel if it was 11v11 and City were chasing the game, I think Arsenal would have gone on and scored a third. I don't know why, but I just believe it.
In 14 years of watching Arsenal, they've always had hilarious defending. But yesterday, like if this was a Mourinho team, they would have called it masterclass, parking the bus. But Arsenal genuinely parked like this London double-decker bus, including guys like Jesus and all contributing from nowhere. And I know they let a goal in the end, but I think it was like a great defensive masterclass. Two games in a row, dude. I didn't expect it from Arsenal.
They have Raya to thank for even the Atlanta game and the City game. Raya was the man of the match in both the games, at least according to me.
Okay, I am going to be like slightly contrarian here compared to you guys. I think Trossard deserved to get sent off, and I don't think it was one decision that see in isolation. I understand it's a stupid decision, but this has happened consistently with Arsenal. Do not give the referee a decision to make. You have been screwed over so many times by referees. You fouled the guy. And Arsenal now at this point, and I really appreciate this about Mikel Arteta, they're not soft. They're not the Arsenal of like the 2010s and the late 2000s.
They're not playing beautiful football at all.
It's proper shithousery football.
Yeah, shithouse, Burnley level almost.
Everyone says Arteta is a pupil of Guardiola. No, before Guardiola, he was a pupil of David Moyes.
Yes, exactly.
Have you guys watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Where it ends with one of the characters, I think, telling Star-Lord, he may have been your father's son, but he wasn't your daddy. And that's basically Moyes.
But you know what? You know one other thing? Like I was just before coming on to the pod when I was putting my daughter to bed, I was just thinking it was shithousery football, time wasting, your centre back scoring, and you concede in the last minute. And then I remember you telling me about Pulis Stoke City football. I'm like, is this what he actually meant? And that is exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was. There's a stat that there wasn't more than 3 minutes of consistent play at any point through the whole game.
You want a stat? I'll give you an even better stat. Julian Timber and Kai Havertz did not complete a pass. They did
In the
not
first half, right?
complete a pass. No, the
throughout the
entire
game.
game. The entire
right,
game, they did not complete a pass. And this is the first time in the 21 seasons of Premier League that a player has not completed a pass
Yeah, makes
after
sense.
having played the entire game. Just imagine, like, how
Yeah,
that is embarrassing. But at the same time, I mean, like Dode said, if Mo had done this, trying to see out a game, you would call it a tactical masterclass. So I'm really not going to say anything bad about them.
I don't for a second agree with the folks saying, "Oh, Arsenal were cowards." Bernardo Silva came out after the game and said, "Oh, only Liverpool
No way.
tried to win." No, fuck off. This is like prime. What do you call rattler? Being rattled, right? Like these are guys. This is an age-old conversation, and I remember the perfect footnote to end this conversation was what Mourinho said after Louis van Gaal complained that Chelsea, United kept all the ball and Hazard scored, and Mourinho came out and said, "They can keep the ball. I'll keep the 3 points, or I'll keep the points."
I've never seen the City team this rattled because it's almost like all 11 players are coming out in turns and saying some bullshit.
Did you guys notice what Haaland did after Stones scored the goal?
Yeah, he hit it on Gabriel.
Gabriel's head.
Yeah.
It was way too funny.
Haaland was rattled. Did you see what he said after the game? I mean, he's squaring up to an 18-year-old. Come on, man. Dude, you're better than that.
No. The thing is, Lewis
He went to
Miles
Arteta, right?
Yeah, before
Yeah,
that,
He
he
first
said,
went at Arteta, and then he went at what's the kid's name? Lewis
Miles Kelly.
Yeah, the one thing I know, I know, like, I'm a United fan. I'm speaking from bias and what have you. But like the way Arsenal are talking about these last two games at Etihad, I'm talking about this season and the one they played in April where they took a draw and they celebrated like they won. I think this is the best Arsenal team we have seen in our lifetime, as in our adolescent life at least. And the way they're talking about it, like that they're like the golden generation or what have you. And we had James Rashford, Martial, and Lingard, and Pep was rattled for like 2-3 seasons in a row.
No, but generally, you see Guardiola after a game, he's always praising, like, oh, the other team played so well and all. This time, no praising. That's when you know you got their goat, and they're really like, shit, like, these guys are on us, and we have to be a little bit worried.
No, he said, no, it's like, even if they had 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 players, they would still play the same. Like that's when you know that, okay, you've got under this guy's skin a little bit. It's a very different kind of challenge than what you're used to. Like Jurgen Klopp came in, Jurgen Klopp, the initial years where he was packing them 4-1, 4-3, all of that nonsense. Klopp wasn't, Pep wasn't the most, vocal about it. The moment it kind of simmered down in the latter half of Klopp's reign, but early on he wasn't talking. Like he was being a sore loser. He's always, and it's good. It's like it's expected of winners.
Man, I love this rivalry. I love this rivalry because the Klopp-Pep rivalry is this full love and this bromance kind of weird shit. And this is a proper like Wenger and
this is like old school Barclays. Like I hate you, you hate me. Battle of like Pizza Gate, kick the shit out of each other. Like this is like the first tweet I
miss this shit. I miss this football.
Dude, the first half was genuinely good. A good football game. Like. It was really good. I can't believe he ruined it, man. Like, I can go on about ad knock and all of those things, but I don't want to. So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to end this on one thing where I saw this tweet from Gidiomatic, I think, where he was like, "Oh, Arsenal's tactics have injure Rodri and then figure it out. I see the light. Arteta, you genius."
Injure Rodri and inshallah.
Which is exactly what happened. 4 seconds in, Havertz clotheslines him. And then again, from a innocuous color, I don't think it was innocuous. Partey collides with him from a corner, sends him off the pitch, and then Arsenal regain the lead. I mean, rather gain the lead. Props, man. It's dark arts means. I mean, this is like a pure case of the dark arts.
And every City player referring to dark arts there must be something about a team meeting which happened after the game where Pep's like they're doing dark arts and go and tell the media they're doing dark arts.
Okay, I just have one more stat that just popped up on my screen. David Raya wasted over 9 minutes of yesterday's game on goal kicks alone. He had 12 kicks, and each one of them took him 45.3 seconds on average to complete.
Dude, Mourinho would call him his
That's
son
10% of a match, dude. That's 10% of the match.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen a bunch of Arsenal fans watch-alongs are fucking on point? But the icing on the cake was Troops TV yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
In the 96th minute, he starts dancing.
Was singing a song.
Yeah, he starts singing Take Your Time within the 96th minute. And within 15 seconds, they concede. He's like fallen. His son is crying. It's perfect. It is like the perfect encapsulation of a football dagger, right? This week has generated so much great content, both on the pitch, off the pitch, and even on like social. Beautiful. But yeah, to bookend that, it's going to be an interesting title race. It's because now with Rodri out, City rely on Kovacic and Matthias Nunes. I don't know where that guy is. They signed him. Is he still playing for them? Or like, what's happening there? But it's going to be an interesting scenario to see.
There's only one line, dude. Tu aake dekh le, bro. That's all.
Anyway, moving on. Let's move on to a slightly less entertaining game. Entertaining, actually, no, to be fair, entertaining. It was entertaining. It was more frustrating than entertaining if you're a United fan. It was United going to Crystal Palace, playing some of the best football they have ever played under Erik ten Hag, and coming away with a draw. Like, this is at the moment that chance where Garnacho and Bruno both hit the post in the first half, or the crossbar in the first half, I knew this was a game that was not going to go the way it was intended. Was very surprised. Sid and I were both very surprised by the lineup when it came out. He dropped Rashford. Eriksen was playing in the number 6. And it was very confusing to see this team out there. But then with Dalot inverting into midfield, basically becoming Eriksen's legs, the guy who kind of just died and came back to life on a football pitch, that guy. It was watching United link up play with Zirkzee, Ahmad, Garnacho, Bruno to a certain extent. That first half, United were really good. Dean Henderson, of course, he had to have some sort of a man of the match performance. One, because it's United. 2, because I left him on my FPL bench. Fuck you, dude. And it just makes things so much more frustrating. The second half, though, terrible subs. I think completely killed United's flow. The removing all ball retainers in Zirkzee, in Eriksen, and as well as Ahmad basically made United play a counter-attacking style of football, which didn't work and eventually just petered out into a 0-0 at Selhurst Park. Disappointing, but I'm quite upbeat about the direction the team is moving in. I honestly thought there were some great signs in that first half, not so much in the second, about how United will continue to develop in the future.
I don't know, man. Like, I'll tell you what the turning point of the game was. Zirkzee coming off for Rashford. Everybody knows my hate for Liverpool, but Suarez was one of the best strikers the Premier League has seen because he could do everything. I think Zirkzee is building up to that because he was everywhere on the pitch. He was everywhere. Like, I'm not saying he's the next Suarez. I'm not going to build him up. Suarez was a beast. He was one of the best strikers the league has ever seen. But like Zirkzee, man, oh man, like, where was this? Like, I've never seen a United striker being this good. Like, a striker being this good in link-up play. I mean, Van Persie was a good striker, but he was a striker. He was not...
Baba, dude.
I mean, yeah, that's the last. That was what? Over 10, 12 years, maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, and I think Baba, 2009 to 11, Baba was...
Yeah, exactly. So that's almost 15 years ago. So, oh my God, man, Zirkzee, like, the French kiss the chef's kiss. I don't know. It was
Just can't
too
finish
good.
though. It's the only problem. You just can't finish.
I mean, the lot of them, man. And this Bruno dude, like just put him to like give him some potassium and put him to bed, magnesium and put him to bed, man. Like just give him some magnesium and put him to bed. Let him wake up after 2 weeks, okay, and then let him come back and play. Dude, that guy is gassed. Like we have two dead men walking in our on the pitch. One is about to die. One's died and come back.
I'm just thinking, especially with Bruno, right? I'm like, okay, this man got injured. I remember there was a point last season where he was like on his couch and he had his ankle wrapped up and he was reading a book. I was like, oh, that looks like Bruno's out for the game. And he played the next weekend. This man does not care. He's like, nothing can stop him. And now, to the detriment of himself and to the team, I think he needs a break. It doesn't help that Mason.
That chance which he tried to do the Trivela finish, dude, come on, man. Dude, just finish it, man. That was... You have to be finishing that. What a pass that was from Xerxes. He literally laid it out for him. All he had to do was just finish.
I think this is what
Garnacho, the point where Henderson saved it on the left, and I think even Peter Schmeichel made a comment on this during the halftime, where he said he should have shot near post rather than go far post. I don't know if you remember the one where Xerxes puts him through on goal one-on-one, and he tries hitting it far corner. Like, because if I remember correctly, Rashford had something similar with Liverpool last season or the season before that, and he went near post.
I mean, like Rashford did against Barnsley on Tuesday. Barcelona.
Tuesday,
yeah.
I was just checking my notes. Like football Twitter's all like United is back after United beat Barnsley, and I was like checking my notes, and I was like, oh, they're back after beating a League One team. It's like,
good.
Okay.
There was no genuine United fan who thought United were back after beating Barnsley. I'll tell you that. It's like,
you'd be surprised
like
there was a Twitter.
I woke up, I saw Christian Eriksen score 2 goals, and I'm thinking, oh God, he's going to start him against Palace, isn't he? And guess what he did?
Eriksen was good against Palace. I thought he was really good against Palace.
He was. I mean,
and I think
this whole inverted winger is working, but I don't know if he's going to continue once Shaw gets in. I don't know. But you said he might move him to centre back. But why would he move him to centre back when he has the Butcher there?
Because the Butcher also is kind of an idiot. Did you see what he did in that game? The stupid fellow.
The 2-footed tackle.
Yeah, no, I don't think Xerxes going off was the problem. I think the moment that incident happened was when we fully lost momentum because the whole team went, what? Why? He didn't. Luckily, made zero contact with the player. If he had been sent off, I don't think any of us would have complained. I honestly think would have been like, you know what?
Dude, I think he was inches away from being like a three-match ban. Like inches.
Yeah.
Fucking fool. Why?
Shit tackle, dude.
It reminded me of my man Marcus Rojo, who I love dearly. It's like I have a soft spot in my heart for madmen, especially Bruno. Bruno is like a soft spot because he's fucking crazy. Okay, like even that Trivela shot, he could just take it normally, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
But no, he has to. If you go back to the Liverpool game, the 2-2 draw at Old Trafford last year, where Kwanzaa gives the ball away in midfield, and any other player takes a touch and figures it out. My man, this crazy bastard, is like, just fucking, he'll come running and just chip the keeper. So that's what you get with Bruno when it's like being in a very like toxic relationship. 1 minute you get love bomb the shit out of, and you're like, oh, this is the best feeling in the world. And then the second aspect is like this really toxic asshole that you have to deal with, who's bloody spamming crosses everywhere, giving the ball away.
Yeah, have you seen this thing about Bruno? Is that when United is winning, he's like the best captain and everyone loves him. When he's losing, he loses his shit and he's of no use then.
Dude, like, see, the thing, I mean, I don't want to keep going on and on. Like, genuinely, Palace also had a couple of chances where I feel Eze should have scored. Like, they could have done a smash and grab. And I think, personally, they should have done the smash and grab because he had 2 glorious chances. I think on the balance of play, Palace had the better chances than United. Although United did hit the post and what have you, but Palace definitely had the better chances. So I think on the balance of play, they should have got the 3 points at home. I think it was better than not losing 4-0.
Yes, so much better. I remember that when that game happened, those and I had gone to watch Fall Guy, and then in the theater at halftime, he was like, at the intermission, I was like, hey, there's a United game on today. And he's like, yeah, guys, you're 2-0 down already. I was like, what? Yeah, 2-0 down. I was like, fucking, just went back to the movie.
Yeah, I think United are cursed to not score at Crystal Palace.
So do you know that United hasn't won a game in London for the last, now with this Palace game, for the last 14 games.
Oh wow.
Wow.
They haven't won a game. They've either drawn or they've lost. They lost to Arsenal. They drew against Chelsea. They lost to Chelsea.
No, they lost to Chelsea.
Yeah.
That game. Oh my God, my head was on Mars that day.
They drew against Spurs.
What do you think of the next game, though? Next game, you guys have Spurs up, and then Villa, I think, right after that.
I think Spurs and Villa play into our hands.
Is it Villa home or Villa away?
So.
Villa away, I think it is.
Spurs United are basically stoppable force meets movable object. That's the best way I can say it.
I mean, you couldn't have
I don't know,
better.
man.
I think you have your soundbite there for the next game.
Not even that. You just look at how many. I think United are on top of the table for the number of biggest chances missed.
No, so they are on the top of the table for most big chances missed, and they're second for XG. Liverpool's XG is 10, United's 9.6 or something, and then comes City and Arsenal. So
yeah, but City consistently overdoes their XG, right? Theirs is 9 and they have 11 goals.
Because they have a freak playing for them. Obviously, they're going to have a better. I mean, you have Ederson passing. That's not even supposed to be counted as an XG, and dudes pushing people like that bloody. I don't want to say it, but sex dolls, and then
Why never? Where did that come from?
Because he's just swatting people and spanking people and what have you.
You could have given me 100 guesses as to what you were about to say next.
I would not have guessed. Sex dolls.
Oh, God.
Guys, this is how you know it's a Monday.
Literally, you know what? I'm just seeing the XGs, right? Liverpool have an XG of 10. They've scored 10 goals. City have an XG of 9.3. They've scored 11. Spurs have an XG of 9.1. They've scored 9. United have an XG of 9.5. They've scored 5.
I feel like I thought the Barnsley game would have been like, okay, boys, here's your confidence booster. Like, go on. It dropped Rashford immediately after, came on, did absolute jack shit. And I was like, you know what? I don't know, man. This team needs to have that Heinz bottle moment where all the bloody sauce just comes out at the right time. But I can't even fault the coach for this game. The coach set them up in the best way possible to wallop Palace. But again, in the league, you get one half to outsmart an opponent because at halftime, they will figure you out.
This league gives you moments. I mean, unless you're Manchester City, right? It gives you moments in a game, or like it gives you spells in a game where you need to capitalize. United had that spell the first 30-35 minutes. I mean, it was polar opposites to what happened in the Southampton game. Like, that's the first half of that Southampton game was so bad, and this was like the exact opposite. And I'm like, dude, if you don't capitalize now, this is heading in one way. This is going to be like a Mateta penalty, or like what's his name? He keeps scoring against United. He came on in like the 90th minute. Schlupp. Jeffrey Schlupp coming on.
Yes, I hate him so much. He keeps scoring.
Jeffrey Schlupp coming on and scoring like some corner. It'll come up to him at like the 35-yard, and then he just bang one in the top left corner, and revenge for whatever Matic did all those years ago at Selhurst. I'm like,
I think we're paying penance for that.
Yeah.
I still think we're paying penance for that. Sid, I wanted to ask you this Bruno situation. Then do we bench him against Spurs? I don't think we can bench him against Spurs, man. I think he's too much.
Bench him against Spurs, but you can bench him against Twente and then he would definitely want to play against Porto. There's no two ways about it. Like whole Sporting Porto game, rivalry, he would want to play against Porto. And then obviously you can't bench him against Villa, but I'm sure you can bench him against. What's the game after Villa? I'm forgetting. I think it's Brentford at home or something. That's the game you rest him. You play Mount in his position. That's it. It's simple as.
I think it's time.
Mount's injured, right?
He's back.
Is he
No,
back?
he's back. Yeah. You can't rest him for the next 4 games, but you have to use some sort of like this Fergie tactic when he said you're going to play the next 2 games, but I need you to rest up for this game, and then after that we go again. We have 2 London teams back to back. I think we're playing West Ham away and then Chelsea at home. So you'll need him for both those games.
You think that if United don't win the next 4 PL games, you see top 4 slipping?
I mean, top 4 is slowly beginning to. I mean, the way Chelsea is playing, I genuinely feel that it's slowly slipping away, and I feel like winning Europa League is our best bet to going into Champions League next season. I genuinely think so.
You just know it. You know it. It's going to, if he ends up in a final, this bastard once again. Like we said on the second or third episode, we said it. He's going to go for the Europa League, and then
Yes.
oh, I have won more trophies than anybody except for Man City.
But you think about it, progression's happening. So he wins the League Cup, then he wins the FA Cup, then he wins whatever European competition we are in at the time.
And then we go to the Conference League.
That's how Klopp did it as well, if you notice.
Yeah,
he went to one final, then he went to the next final. He
never won the Europa.
No, he never won. That's why I said he went to the final. He progressed, which is what Ole was also doing. We just didn't give a chance. I mean, I don't want to get on the Ole fan bus at this point in time, but I mean, he was also progressing. And like Ole said, I think winning cups, yeah, you are good on that one game, on that one day. You're better than the team that was there put in front of you. I mean, let's face it, we should have never qualified past the semi-finals.
Yeah.
But whatever, we won the FA Cup. It's where you're standing in the league is how good you are. I don't care what anybody says. If just because we won 2 trophies doesn't make us better than our team, better than Arsenal's team. Arsenal's team are far ahead in terms of the progress they've made under Arteta. So even Chelsea, for that matter, for me, at least right now, I mean, I know we're going to go into Chelsea next, but I think this is a great segue into Chelsea. Like, they huffed and puffed, and they found a way to build a brick house.
This is the ultimate definition of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, nobody put us in top 4. And you're absolutely right. We don't deserve to be in top 4 at the beginning of the season. Okay. I don't know. It remains to be seen if our managers, like you were saying earlier, like it'll take about 6 months time to see if this is the new manager bounce or he's prepping up to be Pep level ball fraud. Like, let's see if it goes there or not.
Dude, I thought you were.
I'll tell you what about Enzo. I watched 2 Chelsea games. I didn't watch the one this weekend, but I watched the 2 previous Chelsea games, right? And the one where Madueke scored the hat-trick as well, right? Like, in both those games, Chelsea were really fluid. There was no point in time where I felt I don't like watching neutral games as much, but I was just not bored at all just watching Chelsea. It was not last season of Chelsea where we're going to outscore you. You score 1, we'll score 1. It was solid. They were solid in defense. And yes, a couple of times the goalkeeper did bail them out. Sanchez did bail them out. But like Chelsea was so fluid, right? Like, let's not talk about Sancho's assist, like passing the ball like in midfield and then the guy scoring a banger. That's
no. Even
I know it gets counted as an assist as per FPL, but dude.
Yeah, he gave an assist, but I'm going to be contrary to most Chelsea fans and say that I think Neto shows more energy and he should start over Sancho any day of the week.
This is a good Chelsea fan, right? This is a good Chelsea fan.
Yes. No, because I get it. And so a lot of people were showcasing actions of Jadon Sancho, of him cutting in. And then it was like, oh, look, it's such a great player. And one guy asked the question, could you show me the final outcome of this? And the final outcome of him like topping back is him losing the ball. Now, we have seen it
passing it back.
Seen it a bunch of times. And even the first goal, the goal that West Ham scored, he makes a pass to Nico Jackson. Nico Jackson is just running. Nico Jackson is like, he's just running. And at some point, I was watching the highlights of the game because I'd missed the start. And I was like, someone make a tackle. Like, by now you would have made a tackle. He just breezes past the whole West Ham team and scores.
Like, I don't know what's happening to Chelsea players, like even the last week and the last week, it's like our players are just running through defenses like their prime Ronaldinho or something, and just going and scoring some worldies. And like, where did this come from?
It's not Nicholas Jackson, it's Nicholas Anelka at this point.
Yeah, basically, right? And he's at a 70% shot conversion in this
Conversion
game.
rate, yeah.
That's insane.
I think he was. I think he's second after Haaland for shot conversion. Yeah, I'm talking his entire career in Premier League. He's had the best conversion shot to goal conversion after Haaland. I was reading a stat. I'm like, whoa, that's insane.
See,
like
even
Chelsea
last season,
anything.
Yeah.
And whatever they create, he's converting. So I can understand like why Chelsea fans would feel optimistic.
I hope this improved like conversion of rate of his continues into permanence. I'm hoping.
This is
but I don't know. Some Chelsea fans are still like pessimistic about their chances, but I genuinely think after Arsenal and Liverpool, Chelsea have the best threat to City's. I think the only thing that
I would think the
only thing that's going to. Yeah, the little horse. Yeah, I would put it as the little horse, the old Mourinho quote: two big horses and the little horse.
Yeah,
but like I think the only thing that would find their way is a Conference League playing Thursday nights in some far off place. But they have 43 players. They can send some other team with some other manager to that godforsaken place that they have to go to, and let the 16 or 17 whoever play regularly just stay at home. They can easily do that if they want to.
So like last week I made this stat about Postecoglou that in his first 10 games he got 30 points, and then in his last 30 games he got some 30 points, right? That's the thing about a new manager. It's that new manager magic that no one's figured out yet. So I want to give it 10 games to see if people figure us out or not.
Apparently this happened with Leicester last season in the Championship, and there was a point where Leicester got found out, and then Maresca refused to change. He's like, this is my way or the highway. And it almost cost them promotion because it got really out of hand. So I'd be curious to see what Maresca does in the face of adversity. I don't think they're going to win it, but I think they definitely have the squad and the resources to be a part of a title challenge.
Our forward line is so fluid. It's so quick. And everyone's gunning to score. Like, I love it. Like, I again love watching.
Cole Palmer. Yeah. The audio.
But West Ham, like, I don't know how West Ham can allow the first 3 shots on target. All 3 were goals. Like, I was just like, what? What is this craziness? And like,
I'm just going to use your words. You just said, I can't believe how West Ham allowed, and I'm just going to change a couple of sentences. Or words rather, Moyes to leave.
Yeah. What's the point of replacing David Moyes with Spanish David Moyes? What is the point of doing that?
No, guys. The quote isn't Julian Lopetegui football genius. It's David Moyes football genius, right? That's the quote.
The dude literally won them a European trophy last season, or the season before that too.
Dude, I'm calling it David Moyes, the most disrespected manager in the Premier League by all the teams he's worked with.
If you look at what he's done with Everton and what he's done with West Ham, right? Mid-table teams, he's given them stability. He has his brand of football. It's solid. It gets you results. You're never in a relegation battle with Moyes. You're always safe. You're between maybe say 8th and 10th, maybe 8th and 12th. You're always there, never in a relegation battle. You're guaranteed Premier League stay. Why would you fire a manager like that? It's West Ham, dude. You're not going to compete against the likes of City and Arsenal and Liverpool. Like, you just know who you are and behave like who you are. Like, no disrespect to West Ham, but you're not even going to compete on. You're not going to compete on money because Newcastle has more money than you. You're not going to compete on players because you're just going to keep selling players. You're not. You might attract talent, but you're going to attract B and C grade talent. You're not going to attract like A grade talent. And you're only going to attract talent because you're in London. That's it. That's the only reason. And there are like 5 other clubs in London who can also attract the same talent. So I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't
They're
get
trying to
it
be
either.
Spurs. They want the Spurs line of. I mean, now they have. I mean, to be fair, they're bigger than Spurs. They have European trophy. So
Yeah, West Ham are massive.
European
Okay.
champions.
So I mean, fair enough. But yeah, I don't know. I if it continues Lopetegui with the team he has, I don't know, man. When does the moisture return? We'll have to wait and see. Speaking of random Chelsea players, Chelsea and an insane squad, I was watching the highlights of the Liverpool-Bournemouth game, and Liverpool basically swamped into an early 3-0 lead and saw the game out. And I was like, who is this dumbass keeper who has made two mistakes? Like, he's rushed out twice and then made two categorically horrible errors, right? I'm like, is that Kepa? Is Kepa at Bournemouth? What the hell?
He
When I
went
saw
from
that
Madrid
first
to
Liverpool-
Bournemouth.
When I saw the first Bournemouth goal, I mean the Liverpool goal go in, I'm like, who's that guy in goal? Like, that was so silly. Was that Onana by any chance? I thought, okay. I'm like, no, that's a white keeper. Who could that be? I'm like, it used to be that. What's a big guy? What's his name?
Neto.
With B. No, with B. It used to start with B.
Boric.
Boric. I'm like,
yeah.
wait, no, that's not him. And then it took me a while before I could think, oh my god, it's Kepa. Like, when did Kepa come to Bournemouth? And then I was not surprised. After that, I was not surprised.
I was just like, where did this guy come from? But Liverpool, man, Luis Diaz is purring.
I mean, it's not good from an FPL standpoint because I don't have him, but like,
neither do I. Somebody told me De Bruyne ran off his injury and he's fine now, and I kept him in the bloody squad. It was so irritating.
What do you think of Darwin Núñez?
Oh, that was a brilliant finish by Núñez, by the way.
But you look at Núñez's catalog of goals, it's all the same. It's all bangers. He doesn't score regular goals. And I think Michael Owen kind of made a point about this. He's like, dude, you need to score the dirty, scrappy tap-ins. Every goal of yours is like some, curler. I remember he chipped the keeper in a couple of, I think Nottingham Forest last season or something. And Michael Owen pointed out that moment saying, that's a bad finish. You shouldn't have done that. It's just like, he's more frustrating because he's so good, but it's just inconsistent.
Yeah, dude. Darwin Núñez, you're right. His whole highlight reel is just bangers only, right? Do you think we could pull off a heist where, like, say 20 years later, we just tell the next generation that Darwin Núñez was better than Ronaldo? If we just show the highlight reel and they're like, yeah, look at the bangers.
It's happening right now where somebody is like, there are people making highlight reels saying Nani was better than Marcus Rashford. Fuckers, do you remember the Nani scored only bangers? He was so good, but he was so fucking frustrating. Fergie would be pulling his hair out. I think Fergie retired because he couldn't deal with Nani anymore.
Dude, I think the last two seasons of Rashford is literally the career of Nani, right? Like, so frustrating to watch. Okay, he scores some good goals here and there, but like, it's just impossible, man. I can't watch it anymore. But I don't want. Let's not just keep going on about Rashford. Like,
yeah, let's not. Yeah, let's let it be. But Liverpool, I think, are the third competitors for this title now that with Rodri out.
They did some good stuff in this game where, like, they had 11 minutes, the flurry of like those 3 goals. And then they've just played the most boring football and saw out the game, which is the most like tactical thing to do.
I think the Bournemouth game is probably, is the least interesting thing that happened this week for them, because they went to AC Milan, went a goal down, I think, in the first 5 minutes or so, and then just continued to put out a clinic and just dismantle the team. 2 goals, and then I think, was it Gakpo who scored the third? They ran out 3-1 winners in Milan. So comfortable. Trent has now become the third highest assist player after Gerrard, and I think somebody else. I forget who's number 1. And Robertson and him are now like the highest assisting defenders of all time for Liverpool. This team is primed for a title challenge. I'm
surprised. I'm surprised how a Trent isn't in a Madrid yet or something like that.
It's going.
I think he goes to the end of the season.
But
Yeah, he should.
I
He deserves
don't
it.
think
He absolutely deserves it.
I don't think he goes on a free though. I think that the Liverpool fans will. Like Carragher brought this up, and you cannot, because it happened with Steve McManaman, and he said Steve McManaman went from Liverpool to Real Madrid on a free, and it changed like how Liverpudlians perceived him. Like he's a guy who came from the academy, gave nothing back to the system. Like there's no fee. Even Gerrard, when Gerrard was about to move to Chelsea, people were like, "What the fuck?" I guess he will resign a new contract because they're going to make him sign a new contract, and then probably make the move to Madrid, because I think Danny Carvajal is coming toward the end. He's not on the same planet as a defender as Danny Carvajal, but Trent is very good at what he does. So it'll be interesting to see, man. If Madrid decide get Trent for free, like, dude, props to Perez. He's like, we are Madrid. You guys just show up, and if you want to play for us, please come and play for us. But I'm going to pay exorbitant fees for you. Bellingham aside.
Yeah.
Speaking of La Liga, dude, Hansi Flick, this is what annoys the crap out of me, man. When no managers were on the market, when this jackass was conceding 30 shots to Wolves, Hansi Flick was out of a job. You mean to tell me, looking at Hansi Flick in La Liga right now, you mean to tell me he wouldn't have done a better job than what's currently happening?
I'll tell you what, last season you got to sort of write it off. Like, I genuinely wanted Ten Hag to stay, like, irrespective of whether they won the FA Cup or not. I genuinely wanted him to stay because last season we couldn't stitch 11 players together. I think the final game of the season in the league, he's like, anybody who wants to play, wear the red shirt and go play, sort of a thing, right? So he was completely injury rattled last season. So I'm like, just give him one more season. Like right now, we have the entire squad, but for Luke Shaw, who surprisingly was ready for the finals of the Euros, but is not available ever since then, mysteriously. But like, you know what? Like you could see what he's trying to do with the Palace game. That first 30-35 minutes, you could see exactly how he's set up. Yeah, Enzo, not Enzo. What's his name? Man, what's the Liverpool's manager?
Arne Slot.
Yeah, Arne Slot. He figured out what was the weakness, exploited it. Fine, whatever. But like, if you know if United are going to be that possession-based team, you could see exactly how he's set up and what can come of it. And Xerxes is playing his role to the T, right? So maybe see for another few months. I like George asked this question at the top of the show. Like, if United lose their next 4 games, or say they get like 3 points in the next out of the next available 12 points, right? Would you then fire him by December? I wouldn't. I would give him the entirety of the season, see where we are at. Okay, and if there is no progress, then you say, okay, listen, we like there's no progress. This is it.
I don't think you don't even fire him. I think his contract comes to the end of the season.
No, they renewed it last season, this summer.
How many more years?
3, 2 more years.
3.
So he has 3 more years. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
I don't know, man. I'm looking at Hansi Flick, and I'm looking at the progress.
No, I think
you think Madrid's not going to win the league?
The thing is, Madrid have Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo. They're all egos. I feel Barca are a better coach side.
And Ancelotti is the master of managing egos. Let's
He's good.
Give him that.
Carlo Ancelotti for me is the best working manager today. I don't think there is a single, like, in terms of the old school manager. I'm not talking about coach. I think the best coach in the world is Pep Guardiola. In terms of the managers working today, Carlo Ancelotti is up there. But with right now, that the team is, it reminds me of the Galacticos. I generally feel I don't think Mbappe is all.
Yeah, it's a very Galactico type team.
Yeah, I think it's a little too overfilled at this point. It's great for your FIFA team. I don't think it works out so much in real life.
See, this Madrid team, right? Like till last year, they had one tactic: pass to Vinicius and inshallah.
It's still the same. It's still the same. It's pass it to Vinicius, inshallah. Hopefully, cut it back to Mbappe.
No. Now the winger or the midfielder is like Mbappe is calling for the ball, Vinicius is calling for the ball, and now he's like, I don't know who to pass to, and who should I piss off less?
Dude,
right?
But
I was this weird eco battle.
I was just watching a highlight reel of Mbappe's short career at Real Madrid. Okay, I did not see him score past the penalty line, the penalty spot. It's either been penalties or weird tap-ins. There's nothing. There's been nothing else. Like his entire highlight reel is that. There's been no clinical passing. There's not been 1 and 2 touch. There's not been wall passes off him. Nothing. There's no link up play. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, I guess you bought him to score goals. He's doing what you bought him. But like, dude, do something.
But I think Barca take away La Liga this year, dude. They're just playing insanely well. Them running out of levers and financial troubles means they're looking at the kids at La Masia. They're just picking gems, dude. What is this Lamine Yamal? And from where the hell did he come from? And how is he so good?
I feel the Barca team, the Barca hierarchy was brought Hansi Flick into the ballroom, loaded up the 8-2 against Bayern, and said, "See what you did in that game. We want that. We have never been more embarrassed in our lives." Like Alejandro Balde, he's trying to like turn him into Alphonso Davies. Even to this day, that Davies run, was it against, who was it against? Where he just, was it Semedo? Where he just like sized up Semedo and burst past him. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. That was, I think, one of the most entertaining games of football. And basically, I think at that point, Barcelona was like, yeah, that's the guy. This crazy motherfucker in his high line. He's Pep on steroids in terms of he doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'll play some Christmas tree formation and just wallop the shit out of you. You either lose 4-1 or you will win 7-1 or 8-1. That's his mentality. I think Madrid take a year to figure out how this whole system works with Mbappe and co. I think Barca might, there's strong chances. Lamine Yamal is, dude, did you see his assist over the weekend? It's insane. Outside of the boot into Rafinha's path, bang. He's too damn good. I think the Stegen is out for a couple of months, but I think Barca fans are happy with the thought. They hate the guy more than we were on.
He's genuinely one of the better goalkeepers this generation.
They hate him so much.
They do, but I'm just saying he's been good. Like I would take him over Onana right
now.
Not bad. I would genuinely take him over Onana right now.
Onana had a great save this weekend, guys. I mean,
he did. And I think he was the catalyst for the Saints game as well.
Yes, he was. He's a crazy bastard. I feel like our team is filled with crazy bastards. But anyway, we're making this into a United episode. We should.
Speaking of crazy bastards, I think we need to speak about the super sub.
John Duran?
Yes. Is he an FPL essential now? Although he doesn't play.
I have him. He keeps talking on and scoring. Yeah, he's my budget striker.
I got Watkins in this game week. And I'm like, oh, perfect, he scored. And then I see John Duran. I'm like, he's so much cheaper. Probably should just get him instead of Watkins.
Villa, man, they're a team that just doesn't quit. They keep coming back from the dead. Even Wolves also. Wolves went ahead and Villa came back and pammed them 3-1. John Duran scored the most. This was his most tame goal, I think, compared to the rest. The Everton goal was a banger. Everton again.
Oh, that was a banger. Yeah.
Yeah, Everton again gave up a lead, not 2-0 this time, but 1-0, and they went away with a point. Sean Dyche must be like hating himself because the front line is clicking. It's the back line that's causing issues.
Which is never an issue for Sean Dyche.
Which is the first time.
Yeah. And defensively solid man.
Guys, the boys are failing. Newcastle, Eddie Howe, what's happening?
Yeah, I think they're like, Eddie, how, dude? How? What happened? That's just
I think the England job is probably playing on the back of his head. I don't know. I feel that's what it is.
When they got Eddie Howe, they told him about this project where, okay, we're going to buy some not so great players, and we're going to put you in charge. And then when we get like success, we're going to throw you out, and we're going to buy good players and get a like top A grade manager. So, I think that motivated him for a season or two, and now he's just like, I'd rather go take the England job instead of this.
I think the England job's playing on his mind. And Isaac not scoring is part of the problem, but like I genuinely think the England job's playing at the back of his mind. Unless that gets filled and he gets back in, either he gets back to the seriousness of the job that he currently has, or he leaves and they get somebody else, probably Big Sam in to just keep them afloat for one more season.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. I don't know what would be worse, Big Sam or the other guy, the one people throw a cabbage at.
Steve
Alan
Bruce.
Pardew.
Steve Bruce,
Steve.
yeah.
Steve Bruce.
If they get
Steve Bruce,
Steve
they were
Bruce
gonna-
again, I
they
think
will- they
half of
will-
Newcastle will just
The
leave
Magpies will
Newcastle.
lose it.
Yeah. They'll-
I don't think Steve Bruce has any lives left in Newcastle. Jody boy, poor guy, but he has no lives left in Newcastle, unfortunately. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that should bring us to the end. But fun episode, guys. The most random episode. Sid has said some crazy shit in this episode. I don't know what his thought process was, but a great end to my Monday. And we'll catch you post the United Spurs game this weekend. Hopefully we come away with a result. Hopefully our teams do well. Hopefully the title race now gets sparked into a whole new direction now that Rodri is out, which will force City to like adapt and make changes. Will Kovacic be the guy? Will Matthias Nunes be the guy? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Do you think there's a conspiracy theory where Pep was getting so bored, he groomed a guy just to be his challenger?
Probably. I think Pep has already figured out his tactics for the next season. He's like, okay, next season I'm going to play like this. I think he's 4 or 5 steps ahead. Every system, every manager gets found out. Pep is always like, you know what, you think you found me out, but I will find you out. I am in this other direction. He's like an anime villain. Every time you think he's dead, he's like, oh, you thought that was me, my final move? This is my final form. And he keeps evolving.
At what point is he going to leave City, man? Like, it's just
I
getting
think when the
boring
charges
at
hit, when the charges hit, they get relegated. Pep
this
will
point.
be like,
They're
okay.
expecting the charges to hit sometime in January, or December or January.
No, I think it'll be after the season finishes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just end the show. Like, I genuinely just one word answer. Do you think the charges are going to hit? Yes or no? That's it.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I think they get relegated.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get relegated.
I don't think they get relegated, but they'll get like a point deduction or something.
I don't think the other clubs will allow them to sit in. If they get the majority of charges they're found guilty on, the other clubs will not let them get away with it.
Dude, there are 150
Especially-
charges. Like, if you're telling me, I mean, for sure they're going to get found out on quite a few of them, because Everton had the same thing. They got point deducted like crazy.
For one or two instances, not Forest.
And
had it.
Everton had 2 instances. Like, a lot of cities are what Everton got the points deduction for. So, I mean, if they get a points deduction, it's going to be to the tune of 30, 40 points. It has to be to the tune of 30, 40 points at least, which would put them into relegation either ways.
I think they're going to get relegated for a couple of seasons, and also I think they're going to make sure that they don't come back so easily. I feel they will stagger them to the point, even if they come back into the league in the first season, they will have like a 30-point deduction. It'll be a couple of bad years post Pep for City.
Dude, I mean, it's going to be a house of cards, right? Because obviously the whole point of FFP is that you can't pump in your own money. So people like KDB who are on obnoxious wages, how are you going to pay those wages in the championship? You're not going to get the TV rights. You're not going to get. First of all, they're not somebody who generate high revenue outside of. I mean, I know they're showing that they're the highest generating revenue team in England, but yeah, everybody knows that's a load of bollocks. Like, I can name 5 teams off the top of my head that are generating higher revenue than them.
I see. I need people to understand this, right? And this is a point we'll end the episode on this. I need people to understand this. Why United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool are so big is not because of their history is one thing. Why they're so big is because they were at the right place at the right time when the Premier League exploded. In the 90s, when the Prem exploded, it was the Brit invasion. You had pop culture. The Oasis went global, Stone Roses, whatever. Basically, football went from being just a British sport to one of the biggest cultural exports in the world. And with it came brand deals. With it came exposure. And for United's case, it led to, for them, as much as Fergie hates the idea of it, United had David Beckham. And David Beckham became a brand in himself who is bigger than, I would so far as to go and say, he's bigger than Manchester City. He's bigger than basically half the Prems by himself, his lone image. We got into football because of David Beckham, because we were like, who is that crazy fucker? He's so good looking, he's so good at football. Like, I want to be like him. He had the style, he had everything. And that fan base accumulated over time. I think City are at the point, and right now you're in the social media age where City kind of have captured the younger generation's fan interest. but it's not like the United, and it's not like it doesn't have the rivalry of old. Liverpool fans gravitated towards Steven Gerrard. They had the Istanbul moment. Arsenal had Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry was one of my favorite players growing up. I'm a United fan. I'm utterly captivated by it. I feel that if a club that basically became popular in the late 2010s is claiming to be one of the highest highest revenue generating clubs compared to the other superstar clubs of old, are lying to you because of the legacy fans that have come through the door in the last 30 years.
Okay.
I 100% agree with you. Like 1,000% agree with you. It's not rocket science. I mean, for somebody who has followed this for like 20-25 years, like we have, it's plain to see. Like it's everybody knows those charges that they're gonna drop. I mean, the hammer's gonna drop. The question is how many. I mean, to put it in criminal charges, how many life sentences are they gonna serve? That's about
like
it.
People don't understand. Ruud van Nistelrooy was my hero in the early 2000s. He's on the Old Trafford bench. You know how crazy that is. You know how crazy that is. Like, and that's what you're coming up against. Like, I mean, we're getting away from the point, but the idea is that I mean, we've said all there is to say about it.
I wanted to be like Stephen Island when I grew up. When I was growing up.
Paul Dickoff, Sean Goat, anyway.
Sean Goat, Sean Wright.
I knew you guys wanted to end on that, but have you noticed that even though City wins, none of their players have ever become big stars or have captured big brand deals? Or
I think Haaland is that guy, dude.
Haaland's got to be that guy. Haaland's got to be that guy.
Exactly.
I mean, there've been legends. Let's not dust that under the carpet. David Silva has been an absolute legend. That cunt Aguero has been a legend. He's again like top 3 strikers in the Premier League ever.
Yeah, he's in Premier League folklore. I think he's probably the best moment in the Premier League history is probably.
Yeah, by far. I think he has the best moment in the Premier League by far. And then I think even Vincent Kompany is up there with one of the best captains and centre backs.
Those guys were like 11, 12, 13. Yeah. I'm saying these last 5 years where they've won the league consistently, there's no like Lampard, Terry, Gerrard, that type of figure coming out or that kind of branding. Okay, maybe, but KDB also,
but not the kind of branding. No, you're definitely right. Not the kind of branding that.
Yeah, like if you saw Ronaldo at United, his face was on everything, dude. On anything they could put his face, they put his face on it. Like, the same thing with like Gerrard or Terry,
that's the thing,
but they're not doing that.
With Pep, right? You could take Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis, Cole Palmer, and he could still win you the league.
Look at Rico Lewis. Look what he's doing with Rico Lewis right now, man. Exactly. I think playing Kyle Walker there was detrimental to City. Rico Lewis is murdering in that position. He's playing he's playing at the tip of the base of the diamond.
That's why you're not going to be a superstar. Haaland's going to be that superstar, but for how long? That's it.
I think he's a superstar when he makes a move to Madrid or Barca or something like that. I don't think
he's not going to Madrid. Let's face that. He's not going to Madrid. Mbappe is there. He might go to Barca.
La Liga needs to make him go to Barca if they want.
They might have to do some underhanded, shady deal with him, saying we'll give you some percentage of the broadcasting rights or whatever, just to get him to go to Barca, so that you have Mbappe versus Haaland or something like that. They'll have to do something crazy.
That's how you generate. Yeah, Messi Ronaldo happened. It wasn't. It did so much for La Liga.
La Liga doesn't have a broadcaster. It's on some MX player. Some. It sounds like a porno website when you look at it.
Haaland, for the sake of La Liga, go to Barcelona.
Yeah, just go there. Save the Farmers League.
There'll be an ad for MX players. And then there'll be Haaland's face next to a sex doll.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Apparently, that's how he handles them.
I think that's a good note to end the episode.
That's a beautiful way to end the episode. We'll see you next week, guys. Take care. So, what an episode.
Bye.
Speak to you soon.